Ottawa's transit troubles deepening over the long weekend. The union goes public with concerns over staffing. Good afternoon. This is CTV News at 5. I'm Stefan Keys. OC Transpo's goal is to keep trains on the track and better the service, but now we're learning it may be hard to do with the union blowing the whistle on staffing levels. This past weekend shutdown triggering the discussion with the union saying lines 1 and 4 are, quote, consistently understaffed. CTV's Leah Rock is here with more, and Leah, it sounds like they're warning things could get worse.
Yeah, Stefan, we spoke to a lot of riders today, and they're not surprised that there's a new problem with the LRT, but they were frustrated to learn why. Not enough people in the control room over the weekend, raising another round of questions about Ottawa's troubled LRT system. OC Transpo said they had to halt Line 1 service Saturday because of a temporary shortage of the controller staff needed for safe operations. The union representing transit operators is now speaking out about chronic understaffing across the system. The union says the system often operates below 75% staffing capacity. Noah Weinberg says understaffing in the control room is due to several factors, including qualified operators being blocked from advancing into controller and supervisory positions.
It's got public attention this time. I think the shutdown of one brought eyes to something that we've been trying to explain for a long time. If they're short controllers, there's ways to fix that by building the pools right at the operator level and building it up, and not finding ways to prevent people from moving up and finding ways to attract people into that pool and make sure that they don't leave those pools.
We have requested a statement from the city, but they didn't get back to us before airtime, nor did CP 550, the union that represents the workers in the control room. Now, for many riders, another shutdown is reinforcing a familiar concern, but also raising questions about whether the system is ready for expansion since reliability continues to be a problem. Stefan, we're still waiting for a date for when the Eastern Extension is set to open.
Okay, CTV's Leah LaRock with the latest on transit. Thank you, Leah. Ottawa's construction season is bringing traffic to a crawl on many highways and major roads, and police say it's turning into bait for road rage. They're reporting an uptick in incidents and are urging drivers to be patient. CTV's Dylan Dyson was out on the roads today and joins us with more. Dylan.
Stefan, with long weekend traffic, more government workers headed back to the office, and lane closures creating bottlenecks on Highway 417. Many drivers are seeing red early in the season. On Monday, OPP responded to a road rage incident on the Queensway near Hunt Club. Police say this driver began following someone, at one point colliding with the other vehicle and driving the wrong way on a highway off-ramp, then allegedly also attempted to slash the victim's tires and break the car window with a screwdriver. It was one of at least 3 reported road rage incidents in Ottawa and Eastern Ontario over the weekend that OPP responded to. Police say it's behavior they saw consistently last year and seems to be already on an upward trend this year. Drivers who are on these roads every day say they see motorists losing their cool behind the wheel often.
I definitely noticed more road rage. You definitely see fists flying a little bit more. I see it all the time, just like more honking, more beeping, people just being more pissed off.
I think people are at their wits and in kind of life and with the bills and all that stuff piling up. I think it's easy to snap and lose it, to be honest.
OPP say motorists can expect similar delays on the 417 compared to last summer. To reduce the stressors of road rage, police suggest leaving early to allow for more travel time, listening to music or a podcast, or chatting on the phone to someone, hands-free of course, to help pass the time. Stefan.
CTV's Dylan Dyson reporting live. Thank you, Dylan. The effect of rising homelessness on full display near the Bayview LRT station, where city crews are cleaning up a massive mess left behind at a homeless encampment. Piles of garbage, hundreds of needles, and more hazardous material recovered, and advocates say it spotlights a dire need for more supportive housing. CTV's Austin Lee is following this for us tonight, and he joins us live with more. Austin.
Yeah, Stefan, the encampment near Bayview Station and just steps away from the Trillium Pathway was already abandoned by the time crews began their cleanup efforts, but the mess left behind is quite shocking. Roughly 2,000 needles, 26 propane tanks, and a total of 9 cubic tons of garbage removed from the area on Friday, according to Ariel Troster, a councillor here in Ottawa. Now, even today, we spotted several needles, crack pipes, and other garbage still scattered around the area. Troster says despite the fact the encampment was already vacant by the time crews came to clean it up, it still points to a growing issue here in the city.
The addiction and homelessness and mental health crises, they're not going away. If people are pushed out of specific areas, they're still going to find a place. Humans are wired to survive. And if we want to avoid another situation like this, we urgently need to scale up healthcare supports, addiction treatment, harm reduction services, and permanent supportive housing for people with serious addictions.
And Troster also once again voiced concern over the province's decision to pull funding for the remaining supervised consumption sites as of June 13th. She says she feels like a bomb of open drug use is going to go off once that funding dries up. Stefan.
All right, CTV's Austin Lee reporting for us. Thank you, Austin. In other news, a woman struck by a vehicle in Barrhaven last week has died. The crash happened just after 7:15 p.m. on May 11th near the Fallowfield Park and Ride. The 29-year-old pedestrian was taken to hospital with life-threatening injuries. Police confirming today she died of those injuries. Investigators are looking to speak with anyone who witnessed the crash or who may have dash cam footage. A man is dead after a fiery crash in eastern Ontario. OPP were called for a vehicle in a ditch on County Road 34 in South Glengarry Township near Concession 2 around 5 o'clock yesterday morning. Officers found the driver unconscious inside the vehicle while they were attempting to get him out. The car became fully engulfed in flames. He was pronounced dead at the scene. 3 police officers were treated for smoke inhalation. Canada's inflation rate rose to 2.8% in April, driven by higher energy prices, particularly gasoline, as a result of the war in Iran. Stats Canada says the cost of gas is up nearly 29% compared to April of last year as the conflict in the Middle East disrupted global oil shipments. Meanwhile, food inflation slowed to 3.5% last month, down from 4% in March. Analysts had been predicting the annual pace of inflation would top 3% for the first time since 2023. Stats Can says consumer prices rose 0.4% from March to April. Canada's iconic Snowbirds aerobatic team will take flight for one more season before being grounded for several years. After more than 5 decades in the skies, the Snowbirds are getting new planes. The team uses C-114 Tudor jets that have been in service for over 60 years now. Now the federal government is retiring those and replacing them with the CT-157 Siskin II plane. But the Snowbirds are not expected to be back in action with the new aircraft until the early 2030s. The province is extending last call for bars and restaurants during the World Cup. From June 11th to July 19th, last call will be extended until 4 a.m. Ontario's Attorney General says allowing bars and restaurants to stay open later will give fans a better experience as well as support small businesses and drive economic growth. 27 LCBO stores will also be extending their hours, staying open until 11 p.m. Monday through Saturday and remaining open until 8 p.m. on Sunday. This is the latest move by the Ford government to ease alcohol restrictions in the province. Well, it was an electric night at the Canadian Tire Centre with the Ottawa Charge hosting Game 3 of the PWHL final against Montreal.
The Charge live to fight another game in the finals.
A big celebration for the Charge with a late game victory. The team scoring a pair of goals against the Victoire in the last 5.5 minutes of the game. Ottawa's own Rebecca Leslie scoring the game winner.
Growing up in Ottawa, I've always known that it's a hockey community, but to see the crowd come out every game, whether it was at TV Place or at CTC, it's just so special. And yeah, nothing kind of compares to how I felt in that moment. It was truly such an honor.
The final score 2-1 for the Charge, and fans set a PWHL playoff game attendance record last night with nearly 17,000 people filling the arena. The teams will face off for Game 4 in their quest for the Walter Cup tomorrow back at the CTC, and you can watch that game live on TSN starting at 7 p.m. And it was a big night for the Montreal Canadiens with a dramatic overtime victory over the Buffalo Sabres.
Carrier ahead. Over the line comes Newhook. Shooting. Scores! Alex Newhook!
The Canadians taking the Game 7 win after an 8-3 loss in Game 6 at home. This victory means they move on to the next round and will now face the Carolina Hurricanes in the Eastern Conference Final, a team they swept in the regular season. Game 1 of that series is set for Thursday.
It's easier to see how much you're applying and to get better coverage with a lotion.
Coming up on CTV News at 5, more than 100 sunscreens put to the test. What to know when choosing the best sun protection for your skin. And our Jackie Perez is here with our first look at the forecast. Jackie.
Well, thanks so much, Stefan. Today, probably one of the warmest days we've seen so far this year. Right now here in Ottawa, it's about 29 degrees. Much of the region sitting around 26 degrees as well. Things have warmed up significantly, but we do have some precipitation making its way through the region. Yes, there could be a risk of thunderstorms for parts of eastern Ontario. Overnight temperatures will only go down to about 20 degrees, but it's going to be quite windy. This will carry on for most of tomorrow with a daytime high about 21 degrees. We'll get a closer look at your forecast because we did mention this weather system moving through that will likely bring strong winds, perhaps hail. Those details and more in just a bit.
Thank you, Jackie. Here's what you need to know. The Orleans Farmers Market is back this Thursday, May 21st. More than 35 vendors will be in the Ray Friel Recreation Complex parking lot with everything from fresh produce to meat to prepared foods and more. The market is on from 11 in the morning until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Here's a live look at the Queensway right now. Highway 417 is slow going in the westbound lanes from Catherine to Pinecrest. Eastbound is slow from Bayshore to Woodruff, also from Riverside to Innis. You're watching CTV News at 5. Our popular Team of the Week segment is back. If you want to be a part of our Myers Automotive Team of the Week, upload your video to ctvnewsottawa.ca. While we had a cool spring, it appears the warmer weather is here to stay. Whether you just hang out in the backyard or plan to head to the beach, a good sunscreen can make a big difference in protecting your skin from the sun's harmful rays. Here's CTV's Pat Foran with more.
If you plan to spend a lot of time in the sun, it's recommended you use a sunscreen with an SPF of at least 30. SPF, which stands for Sun Protection Factor, is a measure of how well a sunscreen protects against sunburn. Getting one is never fun. Your skin feels like it's on fire and anything that touches you hurts, not to mention the potential long-term health effects. From sprays to lotions, Consumer Reports tested more than 100 sunscreens this year. They tested them on panelists in the lab and in the water.
A lot of the sunscreens in our ratings did not meet their SPF claim on their label, but that doesn't mean that they still don't protect you against the sun's rays. Any sunscreen is better than no sunscreen.
Researchers also tested for UVA protection. Those are the rays linked to aging as well as skin cancer. At the top of the ratings with a perfect overall score, Copper Tone Water Babies Lotion SPF 50. Among sprays, Eucerin Advanced Hydration Spray SPF 50 came out on top. So what's better, a lotion or a spray?
It's easier to see how much you're applying and to get better coverage with a lotion. Sprays can be good. They're certainly convenient, but they also carry some risks. You can inhale them. They often blow away in the wind. It's not easy to see how much you're applying to your skin.
The bottom line, testing shows not all sunscreens perform the same, but using one can help protect you and your family in the sunny days ahead. It's best to apply sunscreen 15 minutes before heading outdoors. Pat Foran, CTV News.
Coming up on CTV News at 5, thousands of people sign a parliamentary petition calling for public service workers to be able to work remotely for most of the week. Here's what else you need to know. Veteran comedian Jessica Kirson is performing in the Capitol later this week. She'll be taking the stage at the Bronson Music Theatre this Friday night. Doors open at 6. The show starts at 7. Here's another live check on traffic. You can see that things are slow going in the eastbound lanes around Saint Laurent and Belfast as people head out to Orleans. If you're westbound towards Canada, you'll notice some slowdowns around Bronson, and it will ease up around Pinecrest. Coming up tonight on CTV after the 6 o'clock news, you can watch E-Talk starting at 7, followed by The Big Bang Theory at 7:30, and then we have a movie on the go for you. Top Gun Maverick starts at 8. Now for another check on the weather, let's head back over to Jackie.
Well, thanks so much, Stefan. A very warm day in the capital, kind of muggy at times too, but this will change for this evening. We are anticipating some rain moving through, mostly focusing on the valley. Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass sky cam right now, where it is at 29 degrees. The sun shining down on Kaweki Point, and a reminder that the sun is scheduled to set around 8:30 this evening. So we did mention that here in Ottawa, we are expecting mainly sunny skies, and this will go into tomorrow as well. The temperatures, though, will cool down significantly, about 10 degrees cooler tomorrow morning, starting off at 18 degrees, but those wind gusts are going to be quite strong, with gusts up to 50 kilometers per hour to start off. It will cool down and slow down for the wind around the afternoon, so northwesterly winds making those cool winds come around 20 to 40 kilometers per hour. 17 degrees is going to be the temperature for the afternoon. So you could already see the temperatures starting to cool down by the time we get to 8 p.m. tomorrow evening. Now, we talked about that we do have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for parts of the region. This is really focusing on around the valley, and this will happen around tonight around 8 p.m. It's going to move quite quickly, so that by tomorrow morning it should clear off, but this could mean heavier wind gusts, large hail, as well as a very strong wind moving through as well. Now, tomorrow, mainly clear skies for most of our region. There was a chance that we could have seen a little bit of precipitation moving through, but it has since cleared. Now, tonight in the valley, again, 11 degrees overnight, risk of thunderstorms and showers. Tomorrow, cloudy, daytime high will be about 12 degrees, so much cooler than what we are seeing today. Meanwhile, the Seaway, also a risk of thunderstorms, 16 degrees overnight. Tomorrow, a daytime high of 18 degrees and sunny skies. So the sunny skies will trend into Friday, but those temperatures, we got a cool front moving in, where Thursday, 15 degrees is the anticipated daytime high, and our overnight low is actually getting down to 2 degrees. It will warm up to about 19 for our Friday, but as we look Saturday and Sunday, temperatures will hover in and around 20 degrees.
Weather is brought to you by Manotick Tree, complete tree care from start to stump.
So, Stefan, if you are heading out in the next couple of hours or so, you may want to bring the umbrella, but again, it should clear closer to midnight, where the overnight into tomorrow morning, mainly clear skies is in store.
All right, Jackie, bring the umbrella. Also, maybe the allergy meds. Mine went crazy over the weekend. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Coming up for us here on CTV News at 5, an Ottawa Valley Resort hoping to make it more affordable for visitors to book a stay this summer. And here's what else you need to know. The Ottawa Blackjacks take on the Brampton Honey Badgers this Thursday at TD Place Arena. Game time is 7:30 p.m. Visit the team's website for tickets. And here's another live look at the Queensway, or the Highway 417. Saint Laurent seeing some slowdowns in the eastbound lanes. Westbound is moving well, but if you are traveling westbound from the east end after Nicholas, things start to slow down, and then you'll notice a major slowdown around Parkdale. That lasts out to Pinecrest, where there's ongoing construction for the LRT along the Queensway. You're watching CTV News at 5, and we'll be right back.
Get the latest live local breaking news. Sign up now for our morning and evening CTV News Ottawa newsletter. The best local content from CTV News, Your Morning Ottawa, and News Talk 580 CFRA. Get it all in one place. Sign up now at ctvnewsottawa.ca. The CTV News Ottawa newsletter is brought to you in part by CAA Business.
Here's another live look through our Centennial Glass sky cam. The current temperature, a summer-like 29 degrees. And it's time now for a look at CTV News at 6. Here's Patricia Bull.
You can say that again, Steph. 29 degrees?
29 degrees.
We like it. Thank you. And here's what we're working on for 6. The latest concern at OC Transpo has to do with staffing.
I think the shutdown of one brought eyes to something that we've been trying to explain for a long time.
The union representing OC Transpo rail operators raising the alarm over consistent staffing shortages after the service temporarily suspended some LRT operations this weekend because it didn't have enough people.
After more than 6 decades of service as both a trainer and demonstration aircraft, 2026 will mark the final season of the CT-114 Tudor aircraft fleet.
The end of an era. This is the final summer for Canada's famed Snowbirds in their current incarnation, but the aerial acrobatic team will be getting new jets in a few years' time.
I mean, I don't even have words. Oh, I feel like I was brought back to life, seriously.
The Ottawa Charge stay alive. The team forces a Game 4 in their battle for the Walter Cup, all while setting a PWHL playoff game attendance record on home ice. It was packed at the CTC. All of that and more coming up tonight on CTV News at 6. That's right after the early edition of CTV National News with Sandy Ronaldo at 5:30. Steph.
Thank you, Patricia. Now the final 5 other stories we're following today. A parliamentary petition is calling for federally regulated employees to work remotely 3 days a week. This comes as thousands of public service employees have been mandated to spend at least 4 days a week in the office starting this summer. The petition was sponsored by Liberal MP James Maloney. So far, more than 30,000 people have signed it. Construction season is officially underway, and drivers can expect several delays and detours this week. Starting today, there are lane closures on Riverside Drive in the area of Bank Street as part of the Bank Street Renewal Project. There are also lane reductions on Highway 417 in Ottawa's West End. This city has planned more than $691 million worth of projects during this year's construction season. The Calabogie Peaks Resort in the Ottawa Valley is offering a unique incentive to help visitors get there for a summer stay. The resort says visitors who book 2 nights of the resort between a Sunday night and Thursday night will receive a $100 gas card when they check out. The offer comes as gas prices continue to climb, threatening to reach $2 a litre this summer. Ottawa travelers have a new option to fly to London, England. Air Transat has launched a new non-stop service between the Ottawa International Airport and London Gatwick with 3 flights a week this spring and summer. Flights will operate on Tuesdays, Fridays, and Sundays until mid-October. Less than a week after expanding to Hamilton, the PWHL is heading to California. The puck will drop in San Jose next season. The league says the city has a deeply rooted hockey culture and a rapidly booming women's sports scene. The team will play out of the SAP Center, home of the NHL Sharks. The PWHL has now added 4 new clubs for its next season, also including Las Vegas and Detroit. That is CTV News at 5. I'm Stefan Keys. Thanks for watching. The early edition of National starts now.